मदज्ञानतिमिरसंहरण शुभकारिणी शरणुवाणी सत्यदीपाङ्कुरज्योतिशारदा सुदिव्यतेजोमयि सरस्वती स्मरामि।
Forward. Thoughts are the fastest moving objects in the world. The lightning speed with which they move is just amazing. They work as a team and as a factory, and you are the CEO of this factory. One little thought crosses your mind, and the whole team starts working. Either you can be a good CEO or a lousy CEO. The choice is yours. I will share some of my experiments with thought. Like any other subjective matter, it is open to interpretation. The famous philosopher Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am," and influenced several generations. I want to flip it and say, "I am, therefore I may think." Or to make it more elaborate, I am a human being, therefore I may choose to think or just be. This approach gives us the freedom and the option to tap into our human genius, to look at thought as another tool available to us, to explore the immensity and beauty of the human experience. All my writing is to myself, as if I am talking to myself or giving advice to myself. If a kindred soul connects with it, it is a divine accident and a blessing to me. Ravi Gurapadi. Chapter 1. Intent, Flow and Structure of the book. In anything you do, intent is the most important thing. If that is set, then the rest flows healthily. Otherwise, no matter how much talent you pour in or how much skill you have, what you do will not give you the nourishment and joy of being human. The crux of the matter is that you want to have the best possible taste of being human when alive, right? It is not about what you accomplished, what you achieved, how many trophies, accolades you got. It is about asking the basic questions to understand who you are. What does it mean to be the most evolved life in the creation? What does it mean to be human? What is life all about? What do I do with my life? How to spend my time? Where to spend my time? At one level, these are all thoughts. At another level, that is all we know. What else do we know other than our thoughts? How do we use the only instrument we know, which is thought, to go beyond the limitations of the thought? What a beautiful question. Trying to answer this one question could make our journey of life pretty exciting and adventurous. There is one fundamental assumption or thought that I have somehow come to trust or believe or agree with, is question and answer are not separate. They come in pairs. If you have a question, there will be an answer. Look at nature, it is symmetric. Everything comes in pairs. It is very interesting. All the philosophies, religions, in some way are doing the same thing, trying to decode this mystery, trying to comprehend the incomprehensible. What is my intent in writing this book? So many sages, saints, and beautiful souls like Sadhguru have said everything. Why do I need to parrot what they said and claim my name in the book? To capture the wisdom, Saraswati Ma is trying to flow through me to help me live more wisely. Write it as if I am trying to talk to myself. Or Saraswati Ma is passing on the advice to us as a human race. Or I am talking to you, which is also me. That is why I keep switching in my dialogue. Sometimes to me, sometimes to us, sometimes to you, which is all the same. As it's triggering wisdom in me, it could also trigger some spark in someone to get on a wiser journey. That is my intent in writing this book. The more we use our thought to analyze thought, we are going down the path of Jnana Yoga, as the traditional wisdom would classify this quest as. Let us try it in our own limited way, to explore this dimension of our lives with this book. And not just to research it as a pure science, but also to attempt to do research in applied science and get some technologies out of it to enhance the experience of our lives. Personal example: I never thought I would be writing books, but here I am writing my 8th book in 2 months. How did this happen? I found a simple way to tap into the eternal wisdom we all have access to. The undercurrent of all our lives is the profound wisdom that has been passed on to us from the beginning of humanity. Instead of quenching our thirst from this elixir, we go about life taking a sip from dirt water swamps all around whenever we are thirsty. The potential of being human is the realization that we have the unique ability to make whatever we want out of our lives. When a profound truth touches me, it could be coming from any source: a discourse, a book, observing some phenomenon in nature, or just about anything. I pause. I reflect on it. If it wants to find expression through a poem or a story or a book, I surrender to the higher intelligence and let that happen. As simple as that. Hard to believe, but that's all there is to it. Flow and structure of the book. We will try to understand what thoughts are. Try to analyze the structure and the dynamics of the thinking process. Using the analogy of a thought factory, we will create some tools and technologies we can use to enhance our experience of life. I will share some personal examples of how I experimented with these concepts, and you can take it forward from there and experiment yourself and enjoy the benefits. Approach thoughts with a gentleness to explore their beauty, make them your buddies, and play with them. Nature has given us this unique capability. Let's make the most of it. Play with your thoughts. When you play with your thoughts, it's a game, it's a harmony, it's a melody. When your thoughts play with you, it's a shame, it's a disharmony, it's a malady. We should approach thoughts like a toy given to us by the Creator. Before you play with a sophisticated toy-like thought, you must know how it operates. It can be triggered by just about anything on the outside without your permission, unless you learn how to switch that mode of operation off. Play with it, experiment with it, analyze it and use it. But know that it's just a thought, not you. You use it for your well-being, not suffering. Explore the beauty of thought. You can write poetry, you can create music, you can write a story, you can paint a picture, you can make a movie, you can love someone, you can make someone happy. All based on one thought: be like the sky. Let the clouds pass by. Don't identify with their nature. Be like the stage. Don't identify with the roles in the play. Fall in love again. Fall in love again and don't rise. Go down the bottomless pit and enjoy the fall. It's a bottomless pit anyways. There is no gravity, only flying, no landing. Explore the joy of being human. You stop speaking and you listen. You reflect and pause before you criticize the other. You correspond with warmth. You respond with sweetness. You embrace with grace. You nurture like a mother. Your attitude is soft as a feather. You see yourself in the other. Chapter 2. Anatomy of Thought. What is a thought? Thought is an invisible entity originating from another invisible entity called mind. There is a popular misconception that thought comes from the brain. The brain is a lump of flesh wired to every part of the body, passing electromagnetic signals to them. Let us keep it that way. Let us look at thought as a separate entity, an invisible entity that literally runs our lives. I like to use the analogy of the software. If the human mechanism is the hardware, thought is the software that runs the machine. It is the language in which the invisible speaks to you. You cannot do anything without thinking about it. Let us take a simple scenario. When you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing you do? Go to the bathroom. How did this happen? You open your eyes, and the bladder tells you it needs to empty itself to feel relieved. How did the bladder tell you? What is the language in which it spoke? You never thought about it this way, right? Wait, what do you mean by you never thought about it? That is the only way you communicate. There is no other way. So, thought is the language we use to speak to ourselves. Now that we have taken care of going to the bathroom, what is the next thing you want? You want a cup of coffee. What just happened? Your mind told you that you will be happy if you have a cup of coffee. A thought told you that you want to have a cup of coffee. A thought told you how to make a cup of coffee. A thought told you how to drink a cup of coffee. To put it in your mouth instead of your ears or nose or some other place. A thought told you if it is too hot or too cold. We can go on like this. So, thought is a language, a communicator, and a worker who implements the essence of what needs to be done by using the various parts of the human mechanism. Looking closely at the first two things we do in the morning: going to the bathroom and drinking a cup of coffee. The bladder sends a signal to the brain through the nervous system to say it needs some action to be performed. If you were an animal, there's no thought involved. The brain sends the signal and the body responds. Being human and being the most sophisticated and evolved piece of creation, we operate a little differently. We don't do things instantly. We have the unique capacity to pause and act with awareness and do it consciously. Thought becomes the vehicle that gives you the flexibility to exercise the freedom of being human. Your bladder sends the signal, but you don't empty the bladder on the bed. You use thought the navigator to find the way to the bathroom. If you find someone is in the bathroom, you use thought the controller to ask your bladder to hold on for a little longer. Then you ask thought the planner to knock on the door and ask the person inside to come out soon, as it is urgent for you to use the bathroom. We don't want to tie ourselves in knots by overanalyzing thoughts. But one thing is clear: it is much more than what we typically understand. It is a language. It is a planner. It is the controller. It is the dreamer. It is the philosopher. It is the worker who guides the action using the human mechanism. We can give it many labels and still fall short to explain this magic called thought. Let us take a practical approach. We want to use all this knowledge to enhance our life, to enrich our experience of life. How do we do that? Let us slice and dice this whole thought process in a thought factory. Chapter 3: Thought Factory. Let us treat each aspect of thought as a worker, and that this whole process is happening in a thought factory. The mind is the headquarters for this factory. Now this is your factory, and you are the CEO. If you don't get it right, some thought guy will take over and run your factory for you, and you become a helpless person suffering the human experience. If you take the analogy of the thoughts being waves in the ocean, and you are the surfer. You cannot control the waves called thoughts, but you can learn how to surf and use the waves to have a beautiful experience. So, all thoughts are the workers in the factory you own, called Thought Factory, and you are the CEO and the main research scientist of this factory. Let's have some fun exploring this concept, doing some research, and creating something magical. Thoughts are the fastest moving objects in the world. The lightning speed with which they move is just amazing. They work as a team and as a factory. One little thought crosses your mind, and the whole team starts working. Let us say you look at a car and you like it. That's it. One worker will project you buying the car. Another takes you on a ride. The third makes someone you like sit next to you. Before you realize, you are on a long drive with your loved one. Isn't it amazing? Now that we understand the mechanics of it, let us use this factory to our advantage and put it to work consciously instead of letting it project on its own unconsciously. We have experimented with labeling the thoughts in my previous book, Reparent Yourself. When you are focusing your efforts on one task, that's when they start bombarding you with other thoughts. So, we take a little bit of time to capture each thought, label it, and make a decision to deal with it at a specific time every day. Now you are playing the game and using the thoughts and the thought factory to work for you. You are the CEO of your thought factory. You know the efficiency and speed with which the factory works. You just have to pick up the thoughts that you want to work on. If it's a past thought, you look at it and say, "Oh, you are that thought about my past hurt. I have moved on, so you better not work on this task. I will give you a better task to just forgive the person, learn the lesson, and become wiser. The next time I call you, you better give me a better feeling instead of the hurt feeling." It is like updating the software on your mobile app. You don't want to be running your life based on the outdated software in your thought factory. If you do so, you are a bad CEO. There will be a coup, and you will be overthrown from your position. There will be anarchy. All the nasty thoughts start ruling your mind, and you will have to find a safe haven somewhere else. It could be drinking alcohol, taking drugs, overeating, etc. The compulsive thoughts that were part of the default factory setting will take over. You have to update your new healthy software consciously. It is not a free download. There is a price to pay, and you have to invest your life into it. Are you ready to do it? Chapter 4. Some useful concepts and tools. Use a hammer when you want to hit a nail. Use a chisel when you want to shape a sculpture. Using the right tool at the right time is being wise. Being compassionate when you could be hateful is love. Use the concepts and tools that are useful, and be wise and loving instead of being stupid and hateful. Uncertainty. Uncertainty is the only certainty in life. When you make peace with it, you will be happy. If not, you will suffer. It is also boring if everything is certain and predictable. You don't want to go and watch a football match if you already know the outcome. Though you want your team to win, it is not guaranteed. There's no fun in watching a movie where you know the suspense. Uncertainty is the reality of life. Accept it and have fun dealing with it. Use your thought factory to deal with uncertainty. Pause, the powerful tool. It is a powerful tool you can use to run your factory. Whenever you feel something is not going right, it is very useful to pause. Now, what do I mean by pause? We usually have a tendency to not stop something abruptly. We would like to bring it to a logical conclusion, or finish up something instead of stopping midway, whether it is a project or a task. Let us take an interesting example. Suppose you are eating something, say, a plate full of snacks is placed in front of you. With the first bite, you know something is wrong. Either it is too oily, or too spicy, or not cooked well. Your system tells you something is not right, but it is in front of you, and you neglect the signal by the system and continue eating, and have an upset stomach the next day. Why can't we stop after the first bite and put it away? This is just the symptom of a larger malaise underlying. Life tells us in so many ways. We keep neglecting small signals and set up a dangerous unconscious pattern in place without even realizing what we are doing. Just being a little conscious can put us on a healthier path. The only way we can do this is by pausing.
Whenever in doubt, it is okay to let something be left unfinished. Take a pause. Selective memory. We would like to think that we are fair, but we are all biased based on our conditioning. We don't remember everything the way it happened. We have selective memory. What do I mean by that? Let me take a personal example. I was once narrating a childhood memory in one of the school reunion meetings. I was fondly remembering the guavas we used to pluck from the trees in someone's house near the school. I was talking about the fun of climbing trees, the taste of the guavas, etc. Then suddenly, one of my friends said, "Do you remember? They caught you once and slapped you." I conveniently forgot that. We remember what we want to remember, not the whole experience. Knowing this, we can use memory for what it is and not use it to glorify ourselves or criticize ourselves. It is past, done and dusted. If it is useful, use it. If it is painful, forget it. You have that capability. Exercise your skills and play with memory. You might want to forget and forgive someone for the hurt they caused you. In that case, forgive, but don't forget. You should remember so that you know how to avoid it in future. You should forgive so that you don't carry the burden of that negative feeling. It's your memory. Use it the way it helps you. Keeping the people around you happy. It's important to keep the people around you happy. It is important to make them feel they are understood and taken care of by you. If you just focus on your growth, they will give you a hard time or pull you down. You might not even realize this, and they might not know that they are doing it. It happens unconsciously. If there are situations and people you can avoid because they are unnecessary for your journey, you should do so. But if it is people who you cannot avoid, your parents, siblings, spouse, children, neighbors, etc., who are in close proximity, use the thought factory, experiment with it, and create technologies that will help you.
Let us get started and experiment a little bit. Jealousy. Let's look at jealousy as a thought or emotion. It's a very negative emotion, in the sense that it doesn't give you a good feeling either way, whether you are jealous of someone or someone else is jealous of you. Let us look at the dynamics of it with a simple example. Let us say you always wanted to have a luxurious car, but you could only afford a small car. You are happy with your small car, though the luxurious car is in your dreams and in the back of your mind. The moment a neighbor or relative or a friend who you consider to be at the same social status as you buy it, you feel jealous. Why? They have something you wish you had. That's okay. Many people have many things you don't have. But why be jealous when this person has it? Now you are getting closer to understanding it. You feel you are smart, you deserve it. But the other person is not as smart as you or as intelligent as you, and they have it, but you don't have it. That's what is bothering you. Not that they have what you don't have. You feel that you deserve it more than them, and somehow by hook or crook or luck, they have it, and you don't like it. You feel it's a statement on you being incompetent and incapable in comparison to them. Now you understand the dynamics of it. If you have worked on yourself, not to be jealous and feel happy for others' success, great. But how to handle it if someone else is jealous of you? That's a difficult one. Don't be naive and ignore the signals. Handle it effectively. If not, it will hurt you more than you can imagine. The interesting part is, these people could be someone very close to you. It could be your spouse, your mother, father, son, daughter, friend, neighbor, just about anyone who knows you. People who are a little emotionally distant from you, if they are jealous of you, you can handle it. But how to handle it when it comes from your near and dear ones, who are supposed to be happy for you? The irony is, even they don't know consciously that they are jealous of you. But you can tell. You have to work on yourself to be more stable and more perceptive to your surroundings. Otherwise, you cannot see it. You might not believe it and brush it aside, saying, "This guy is talking rubbish," but it's true. I have seen so many instances of a wife being jealous of a husband, and a husband being jealous of a wife, and so on. Just be observant, and you will notice it. It will come in the form of subtle pokes, satirical comments, disguised as praise and being happy for you. But they are simmering with jealousy inside. How is it possible? That's how it is. Human emotions and thoughts have a dynamic of their own. They don't see relationships. Now, how to handle it? See it, acknowledge it, and get back into your thought factory to do some research. The solution to every problem can be found if you approach it with the curiosity of a problem solver and a scientist. Let us take a simple example and try to dig deeper. Let us say a wife who is smart and capable has decided to be a homemaker and stay home and support the family and take care of the kids. If she has made that choice happily and consciously, that's great. But let us say it was a compromise and she had a desire to be a successful professional in the back of her mind. Now the husband is successful in his profession and she is happy for him. The children have grown up and she has free time on hand. Now in a party, someone praises her husband for his success and looks down upon the wife as an unworthy person. She starts comparing herself to her husband and thinks, "I could have achieved similar success or even better, but I was tied down to the house and didn't get the opportunity." Now let us say you are the husband and you recognize this subtle hint of jealousy in your wife. Acknowledge it and use your thought factory to figure out ways to find out her interests and passion and help her to achieve success. She will be happy and you will be happy. This is a very simplistic example, but the process is the same. You have to take responsibility not only for yourself and your growth, but for everyone around you and be happy for their success. That is the key for you, not to be jealous of others, and for others not to be jealous of you. Chapter 5. Using the Thought Factory. Thought Training Workshop. My experiments with thought now that we are working from the paradigm of thought factory. Let us use our factory to find answers to the questions we come up with, or try to drop the questions, so that we can live lightweight and experience the joy of living moment to moment without carrying the burdens of yesterday and tomorrow. We will look at some scenarios or areas that can be useful for us and see how we can use our thoughts and the thought factory to work for us rather than against us. As appropriate, I will give personal examples as to how I use the thought factory to showcase the concept. You might either connect with my example or think of another scenario from your experience base that might feel more appropriate for you. To remind you again, the bottom line is, you have to think in terms of, what's in it for me? Can I take some of these concepts and in some way use them or experiment with them to enhance my experience of life? It is basically a thought training workshop. We all have our workers, the thoughts, but we are such stingy CEOs, we never invest in training them to be useful to us and expect to live well. Life doesn't work that way. We have to invest time and energy into a concept that has the potential to be useful to us. Let us get started and experiment a little bit. Jealousy. Let's look at jealousy as a thought or emotion. It's a very negative emotion, in the sense that it doesn't give you a good feeling either way, whether you are jealous of someone or someone else is jealous of you. Let us look at the dynamics of it with a simple example. Let us say you always wanted to have a luxurious car, but you could only afford a small car. You're happy with your small car, though the luxurious car is in your dreams and in the back of your mind. The moment a neighbor or relative or a friend who you consider to be at the same social status as you buy it, you feel jealous. Why? They have something you wish you had. That's okay. Many people have many things you don't have. But why be jealous when this person has it? Now you are getting closer to understanding it. You feel you are smart, you deserve it. But the other person is not as smart as you or as intelligent as you, and they have it, but you don't have it. That's what is bothering you. Not that they have what you don't have. You feel that you deserve it more than them, and somehow by hook or crook or luck, they have it, and you don't like it. You feel it's a statement on you being incompetent and incapable in comparison to them. Now you understand the dynamics of it. If you have worked on yourself, not to be jealous and feel happy for others' success, great. But how to handle it if someone else is jealous of you? That's a difficult one. Don't be naive and ignore the signals. Handle it effectively. If not, it will hurt you more than you can imagine. The interesting part is, these people could be someone very close to you. It could be your spouse, your mother, father, son, daughter, friend, neighbor, just about anyone who knows you. People who are a little emotionally distant from you, if they are jealous of you, you can handle it. But how to handle it when it comes from your near and dear ones, who are supposed to be happy for you? The irony is, even they don't know consciously that they are jealous of you. But you can tell. You have to work on yourself to be more stable and more perceptive to your surroundings. Otherwise, you cannot see it. You might not believe it and brush it aside, saying this guy is talking rubbish, but it's true. I have seen so many instances of a wife being jealous of a husband and a husband being jealous of a wife and so on. Just be observant and you will notice it. It will come in the form of subtle pokes, satirical comments, disguised as praise and being happy for you. But they are simmering with jealousy inside. How is it possible? That's how it is. Human emotions and thoughts have a dynamic of their own. They don't see relationships. Now, how to handle it? See it, acknowledge it, and get back into your thought factory to do some research. The solution to every problem can be found if you approach it with the curiosity of a problem solver and a scientist. Let us take a simple example and try to dig deeper. Let us say a wife who is smart and capable has decided to be a homemaker and stay home and support the family and take care of the kids. If she has made that choice happily and consciously, that's great. But let us say it was a compromise and she had a desire to be a successful professional in the back of her mind. Now the husband is successful in his profession and she is happy for him. The children have grown up and she has free time on hand. Now in a party, someone praises her husband for his success and looks down upon the wife as an unworthy person. She starts comparing herself to her husband and thinks, I could have achieved similar success or even better, but I was tied down to the house and didn't get the opportunity. Now let us say you are the husband and you recognize this subtle hint of jealousy in your wife. Acknowledge it and use your thought factory to figure out ways to find out her interests and passion and help her to achieve success. She will be happy and you will be happy. This is a very simplistic example, but the process is the same. You have to take responsibility not only for yourself and your growth, but for everyone around you and be happy for their success. That is the key for you, not to be jealous of others, and for others not to be jealous of you. Building rapport. In every situation where you have to interact with someone other than you, it will be useful if you can build some rapport with them. The interaction will be enjoyable, and you get the synergy needed and the win-win that benefits both. I like the definition of synergy the way Stephen Covey interprets it. He gives a beautiful example of it in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm just paraphrasing here. 2 people are working in an office. This room has 1 window. One person is sitting next to the window, another is sitting in a corner. There is a ceiling fan in the room. Every few minutes, one person turns the fan off, and immediately another person turns it on. There was no communication, but this irritated both of them, and they were about to get into an argument. Here, Stephen Covey talks about the concept of seek first to understand, then to be understood. The first person says, I need the fresh air to do my work. Another says, I need to not let my papers I spread out to do the work, to not fly all over the place when the fan is turned on. When both of them understand each other's needs, a solution can be worked out. Either they switch places, turn the speed of the fan down, or another variation. This is a win-win for both of them, and there is a synergy. He talks about synergy being 1 plus 1 equals more than 2. If 1 is the output of one person, if there is synergy, both of them can produce an output more than 2. It could 3, 4, or even more. Whereas if there is friction between them, then the output is less than 1. Let me share a personal example. Recently, I have been to a flute retreat. There were about 100 of us in a workshop to learn flute. It was a beautiful resort in a hill station. The day started around 9 a.m. and went late into night. I don't need much sleep. No matter how late I sleep, I get up early and do my yoga. So, I got up early at 5 a.m. and started doing my yoga on the lawn. There was another participant who also woke up early and came to the lawn. He started playing the flute. He was also a beginner like me and was not sounding the best. I felt irritated, as it was annoying to my ears. I had all kinds of nasty thoughts and hateful thoughts about this person. Then I thought of experimenting with my thoughts. Interesting, isn't it? I thought of experimenting with my thoughts. Let us go crazy with the limited vocabulary we have. I told my nasty thought worker, you are doing a fantastic job of being a nasty thought. Just take a coffee break. I will put you back to work in a little while. I called my friendly thought and the rapport-building thought worker and reminded him of Stephen Covey's win-win and synergy concept and told him, get your co-workers who can help with this task and give me ideas on how to build rapport with this person and not have hateful thoughts about him. Now I put my employees to work and started doing my yoga. These thought guys are fantastic workers. They are like Aladdin's jinn or ChatGPT. They will do what you ask them to do. You just need to be a good prompt engineer to ask the right questions. I got my answers. I reflected on the win-win concept and focus on what you like rather than what you hate about someone. I thought this guy is playing horribly. It is unbearable. What can be something I like about this person? Then I thought about it. I started getting the answers. This person is older than me. He has got tremendous stamina and lung capacity to play the flute for so long. He has the commitment to get up in the morning and practice. I don't play melodiously either. It will take a while for all of us beginners to get to that stage. Then I stopped my yoga, wished him good morning, and started a conversation. He was a wonderful guy. He asked about yoga, I asked about his practice, etc. Then he asked, is it bothering you if I practice here? I said just a little bit, but it's okay. He politely moved to another corner of the lawn, where it was not so loud for me. I found a liking and respect for this guy, and we became good friends. Otherwise,
I would have been simmering with hate and ruined my yoga experience as well. By giving a break to the nasty thought worker and employing the rapport building thought worker, I used my thought factory effectively to have a beautiful experience in the morning.
Focus on the eyes. Let me share an interesting experiment I did. I usually look at a person as a full frame from top to bottom. If it is a man, how well built he is. If he has a pot belly, bald head, gray hair, how he is dressed, etc. If it is a woman, how well dressed she is, and how beautiful she looks, etc. I realize that I am forming opinions about people even before I know them. I am being biased like a racist, forming opinions and prejudices based on some conditioned thought. How to deal with this? I called my wise thought guy and asked him the question. He gave a beautiful concept. He said, "Look at their eyes. Eyes are the windows to the soul. People can say anything and put up a smile, but the eyes won't lie." I wanted to experiment. I went to a bus stand on a busy street and sat next to the guy who fixes the puncture to your vehicle's tires. He's an old friend of mine. I usually get air filled in my scooter at this place. I have known him for decades. So, enjoying the tea he ordered for me, I was observing all the people at the bus stand, people crossing the streets, people rushing to work, people on the vehicles waiting at the signal. Every set of eyes were telling a story. I reflected on the poem I wrote. Every flower has its beauty. Every river has its flow. Every sunshine has its glow. Every face has a story. Every life has a glory. When I look at your eyes, I see myself. When I listen to your story, it feels like mine. Is it you or is it me? So many mirrors all around. Taste and spit. Let me share another interesting experiment I did. I have a sweet tooth and can't resist eating sweets when they are in front of me. Even if I'm not hungry, I cannot say no to sweets when offered. My pot belly told me, "You should be careful, don't eat too many sweets." I realize that it is not the voice of the stomach that is hungry, it is just the craving of the tongue. So, I devised a strategy to keep my tongue happy, yet not have the negative effects of eating too many sweets. When I feel like eating sweets and I'm not hungry, I take the sweet, put it in the mouth, let the tongue enjoy the taste, then spit the sweet before it goes down the throat. The tongue is happy, and the whole system is happy. The tongue got what it wanted. The body did not get what it did not want. This is just an experiment. I don't know how long I can sustain this and spit the sweets. They are too good. Even the throat seems to want it. But it is only dangerous when it goes down the throat and gets into the pot belly. Distance yourself from your thoughts. Another technique to experiment with is to distance from your thoughts. You don't mess with them when you are bombarded with thoughts. The only way to weather the storm is to create a distance. There are many ways to do it. It's a skill you have to develop. Simple breath watching can do it. Any meditation or pranayam can help you. I'm not going to promote one technique over the other. This is a subjective science. I will share some of my experiences and my experiments. It is not necessary that it will work for you. You have to experiment by trial and error and see what works for you and use it in your exploration. Human beings create their own seasons. Animals and plants have a season for everything. Flowers only bloom in a particular season. Animals only mate in a particular season. Unless it is their mating season, they are not even bothered about the gender of the other animals. Animals only eat when they are hungry. A human being is the only one who can create his own season whenever he wants. Lust can be triggered by a thought any time. Place a cake in the kitchen of an office right after lunch, and you will see that the word spreads and it is gone in 5 minutes. Come on, you just had your lunch and you are not hungry, but you want to eat the cake. Why? Greed can be triggered by a thought, even though we have enough to survive. If we can trigger negative thoughts, it means we can trigger positive thoughts as well. Actually, there's no such thing as positive or negative thought. If we can trigger one, we can trigger another. It means we know the technology. We just need to understand the step-by-step process of how we are doing it for one and use the same steps to generate the other. For example, when you look at someone and you feel an emotion of dislike. As we have established earlier, thought and emotion are the same. Let us analyze. One basic rule to do this kind of analysis is, don't do it when you are in the middle of a situation and your emotions are in an agitated state. You just make note of it and enjoy your dislike at that moment. After all, it's your emotion. Now, when your curiosity is bothering you and you have some time for research, get started and get into your Thought Factory's research lab. Sit in your favorite place, get a cup of coffee or tea. Ask the question why. Why do I not like this person? Take the first test tube and pour some content from your memory bottle, which has all the past references of your dislike for this person. Take the second test tube and pour some content from your conditioned responses bottle. Take a third test tube and pour a little from the first and second test tubes. Voila! You can start seeing the fumes of dislike coming out. Take a fourth test tube and again pour a little from the first test tube and second test tube. The same fumes of dislike again. You should feel the joy of Archimedes who discovered buoyancy. But don't run out naked onto the streets. The police might arrest you for streaking. Now you have the formula tested in your lab. Patent it and use it. How to use this formula? We have a proven formula, you know it works. Now we switch hats. Take off the hat of pure science and put on the hat of applied science. Because we are not interested in just proving the theory. We want to create a technology out of this that will be useful to us. You are the CEO, so the doors of the factory are open for you 24/7. Enter your research lab again. Remember the basic rule of being in a relaxed and alert mode. Let us look at the two ingredients that got us the dislike fumes. Let us look at the memory bottle. It has all the past memories of dislike towards this person. You might not like the nose of this person, the frown on their face, the color of their skin, the color of their hair, the wrinkles in their face or the dimples on their cheeks. What they did to you and how it hurt you. How you had to silently suffer. Because they might have been in a stronger position of power. You could not show your dislike towards them openly. You might have had to put up a smile on the outside, but quietly let the dislike simmer inside, which is a torture and might graduate the dislike to the next level of hate. There could be many more reasons you can come up with, but this is enough material for our research. Now let's look at the content of the conditioned response bottle and see if there's a connection between the content of the memory bottle and this. Let us look at each memory and keep asking the question why. I will take a personal example. I got introduced to a person in a work group. We had to work together. He was new to the group. I looked at him and he had a nose I didn't like. I haven't worked with him yet, but just one look and I already dislike him. Why? It's part of the proven formula. The fumes start coming out. Why? Why do I not like this type of nose? This is not an easy exercise. You have to have the patience and curiosity of a scientist. If not, this process is not for you. Enjoy your conditioned responses and your ignorance. Some idiot said, ignorance is bliss, and generations of people quote it as if it is gospel truth. What laboratory did he prove this concept in? Where is the proof? But like goats, people use it freely, without even making an attempt to test it in their laboratory to see if it is true. No way. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is suffering in a camouflage. How can you be blissful, creating a dislike towards another sweet soul, just by looking at their nose, without knowing anything about that person? We can give it any label we want: prejudice, bias, racism, etc. But definitely not bliss. Ignorance is not bliss, it's stupidity. It's settling for much less than what you are capable of as a human being to experience the bliss that hopefully is in a higher state of consciousness. Definitely not in ignorance. Now that we have decided to research further and not be content with our current understanding, let's dig deeper. Why do I not like a person with this type of nose? The memory bottle is like ChatGPT. It has the answer to every question. It says, remember the math teacher who thrashed you when you were not doing well in math? He had exactly the same type of nose. Remember the person who always borrows money from you and doesn't return on time? He has a similar nose. Now you start connecting the dots. Because of a few past experiences, where a person with this type of nose has done something you didn't like, you developed a dislike towards them. It has become a conditioned response for you to dislike anyone with this type of nose. Why? Let us dig a little deeper into conditioning. Actually, its intent is to help you, just like ChatGPT. But if you don't give it the right prompt, you will not get the right answer. There are enough instances for you to arrive at a conclusion that a person with this type of nose will cause pain to you. So, it generates the fumes of dislike. Now the hard part starts. How do I make a technology and some tools out of this understanding? We have to work in two areas. Let us take the memory bottle first. The goal is not to judge people based on their nose. Two things to do. We must erase the old memories. We must create a new reference point, which is neutral. How to erase past memories? In neurolinguistic programming, NLP, there's a technique called scrambling. You can find out more about it. It's not the subject of discussion in this book, but for a quick summary, you take the image of what is bothering you and make a movie out of it, and run it in double and triple speed in your mind. It will create a funny effect, and there is a smile on your face. The next time you see that person, you smile instead of frowning. Or, we can use another technique called distancing from your thoughts, which we have discussed earlier. The next task is to figure out a way to create a new reference point when you look at a new person. Instead of the nose, you can look at the eyes. We have discussed about eyes being a reflection of the soul. Another technique that worked for me is thought capturing and labeling. This was discussed elaborately in one of my previous books. Thought capturing works for me. I can capture the thought and note it down in a diary, and then I can look at it in leisure and see the patterns. Identify the talent in your thought factory. Appreciate the skills of these talented thought workers. Give them a bonus and use them as needed. Label your thoughts as poetic thoughts, storytelling thoughts, analytic thoughts, emotional thoughts, future projection and planning thoughts, etc. Do a SWOT analysis on each thought and know its strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Segregate these thoughts to identify the specific talent in each one. As a good CEO, you should know when to use a particular thought. This is just a fun way to look at and play with your thoughts. I have shared some examples of how you can experiment with your thoughts. You win some games and you lose some games. As long as you win at least 51% of the time, you have the controlling stake in your thought factory. Otherwise, there will be anarchy and there will be a coup, and some nasty thoughts will take over your factory. Enjoy experimenting and have a beautiful experience of life. Acknowledgements. Eternally grateful to Ma Saraswati to let some beauty flow through me. To all the beautiful souls who enriched my life with their presence. Sadhguru, the beautiful soul in our midst in the current times. I feel lucky that I am alive now. He inspires and guides so many people like me to experience the joy of living. Many other beautiful souls had a lasting impact on me with their presence and their writings. Some of them are Swami Chinmayananda, Swami Tejomayananda, Swami Ranganathananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Swami Vivekananda, J. Krishnamurti, U.G. Krishnamurti, Deepak Chopra, Stephen Covey, Anthony Robbins. There are many others I might have forgotten to mention. My eternal gratitude to all of them. I have taken the liberty to freely use what I understood from these beautiful people. I cannot claim any originality. It is just eternal wisdom that found a contemporary expression. Glossary. I grew up being influenced directly or indirectly by ancient Indian wisdom. As per my own interpretation of the little I understand of this wisdom, passed on through scriptures and tradition, human striving is to know the truth and live a liberated life without feeling the boundaries and limitations of the body and the mind. This can be pursued in 4 different ways: Bhakti Yoga, Gnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Kriya Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, path of devotion. Gnana Yoga, path of knowledge. Karma Yoga, path of action. Kriya Yoga, path of working with internal energies. I would like to think that this pursuit and curiosity to understand the human mind and explore and dissect it to enhance our experience of life would be under the Jnana Yoga umbrella. Right or wrong, that is how I interpret it and made an attempt to do the research in this book. There is no intent to misinterpret or claim any authority or to do any sacrilege by insulting any of the scriptures or the concepts. It is just the curiosity of the child in me to play with these concepts.